People hand in hand. If I live to see the milk in honey land, where a hazel dream and love forever stands, or is this a vision in my mind? Was never past, but somehow all men feel they're truly free at last. Have we really gone this far through space and time, or is this a vision in my mind? I am not one who make believes. I know that leaves are green. They only turn to brown when autumn comes around. I know just what I say. Today's not yesterday, and all things have an ending. What I'd like to know is, could a place exist like this so beautiful? Or do we have to take our wings and fly away to the vision in our mind?
Hi, I am Anubha Kaul, and that was me singing, performing Visions by Stevie Wonder. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. It's from his album Inner Visions, that also happens to be one of my favorite Stevie Wonder albums. Anyway, today I am going to be answering some questions for the GOGO magazine, and this is going to be so fun. Let's get into it. Okay, how did your journey as a musician begin? Quite truthfully, I do not remember, but when I was very little, my elder brother, he used to play in a school band. He could play quite a few instruments, in fact, but piano was his primary instrument, and he took lessons for the same. So there was always like a little keyboard lying somewhere in the house, and you know, children are pretty inquisitive that way, and I was no exception to that rule. So some experimentation happened with that instrument and my own voice as well, and soon after I started taking lessons for piano, I think. But then I also got into Hindustani classical singing and did that for about 6 years, and now I have just completely, and then somehow just completely immersed myself into Western contemporary. I don't know when that happened, but I don't have the timeline very clear in my head, but it happened somehow. So here we are. Where and when did you have your first live performance? Again, these questions require like a very sharp memory in terms of the timeline, and that's something I don't have. But as a kid, I was very active in my participation in co-curricular activities or competitions and different events in school, or even like in my community. And since I started singing at such an early age, I'm sure, my live performances also started pretty early on in my life. But if you ask with respect to the commercial scene, I didn't have my first commercial gig till I turned 17, or I chose not to have that till I turned 17, and that was 3 years ago. What are the odds in musician as a career option, and would you like to become a professional singer? I don't quite understand this question, but I think it means to ask the downsides of music as a career option, and would I like to become a professional singer? I kind of already am a professional singer. I mean, I am a student, but I also work professionally, so that makes me a professional singer. Downsides. I think being a musician means a lot of things. It's not just live performances or studio sessions. I mean, that's a big part of being a musician, but that's not all there is. There's so many other things you have to do as a musician, and figuring out what those things are is very important. But then again, I don't think this is so much a downside as a personal obligation. I would say the umbrella term of uncertainty is a big disadvantage of being a musician, or any artist for that matter. Take the lockdown season, for example. So many artists are out of work, struggling to pay bills. But then if you love doing what you do, you'll find solutions somehow. Who has been your inspiration? A lot of people, in fact. I don't have a particular someone. There's just so many people, so many musicians, so many authors. There's inspiration everywhere, so you just have to acknowledge it, and it keeps changing. Which genre is your favorite? I grew up listening to so many different styles of music and different genres that today I don't have a favorite. I just love music. It's just music, and it all depends on my mood, like my daily mood. Today I feel like listening to rock. The other day it'll be jazz, and then some funk, and then the next day it'll be R&B. Yeah, my preferences are just scattered all over. Which has been your best performance so far? I don't think I can pick one. It's more about the people than the event. And so if you connect with the people you are performing with, if you understand them, you are going to understand their music, and that is what's going to make a good gig. Even if you make mistakes, and you're always going to make mistakes, so that doesn't really matter. People do. Has your family been supportive? Very, very supportive, especially my father. They just want to see me build my own life and want to see me do what I want to do. But living in this country, occasionally you do get questions like, okay, you're going to be a musician, but what exactly is it that you're going to do? And then you have to explain the many things that you could possibly do. But for the most part, they have been very supportive, and I'm very grateful for that. How do you face your critics? Honestly, as an artist, you constantly want to be improving, and just the fact that somebody takes out the time to listen to your material, even if they leave a criticism post, it's a big deal. It's a compliment in itself, and criticism is just a means to getting better, so that's always a good thing, unless they're being mean about it, because that's not a good thing. That's not okay. How is life on the other side of music? What do you like to do in your free time apart from music? In my usual routine, most of my time is spent musicking, and so there's not a lot of free time left. But the free time that I do get, I like spending it with books. I love reading books, and just like everybody else, you'll find me watching things on Netflix and other places. That's my favorite way to waste time, just by the way. I also do love a good workout. I try to be as consistent as possible, but that doesn't always happen. But I try, and that's what's important. And just before bedtime, you'll find me meditating for 15 to 20 minutes. I meditate at night because by the time I go to bed, everybody's already asleep, and so I know for a fact that nobody's going to disturb me, and that's a good place to be in. How is life in quarantine? Not bad at all, I'd say. Other than the fact that our usual lives have just been uprooted, my family and I, we, have access to the most important resources. We get to stay indoors inside our homes and stay safe, so that makes us privileged. Other than that, also, I have been keeping busy, practicing loads, making more music, reading loads, binging on Netflix shows all the more. That's fun. And this is just a time to slow down and rethink our ways, and 90% of the human population needs that right now, and this pandemic has given us that opportunity. That's one upside of this crisis. So yeah, that was it for me. Now you know me better by a whole 10 questions and many facts. I spoke a lot, didn't I? Anyway, like, share and subscribe to this channel for more content, and I shall hopefully see you soon.